My name is Mary Jenkins, and 2004, I was in an explosion. My husband had lost his job, and I had no intentions of going and getting a job. I really didn't. I didn't want to work. I had no intentions of it. The family life minister called me, and he said this man had told him about a part-time job that was available, and for some reason I came to his mind. God was telling me it was him. God was telling me I had him call you. And I didn't, of course, you don't know why. I'm like, okay, I think God really wants me to go put an application in, so I did. And they called me. They said, well, Mary, I think we're going to hire you for this position. I'm like, oh, that's great. I didn't care how much they was paying me. I figured if God led me there, it didn't matter. I didn't do it. My friend had a really good friend, had moved from Florida. She was real bad off on drugs and stuff, and every time I'd go to Florida, I'd find her and talk to her and tell her, move up here. You know, I'd always tell her, just call me. When God changes your heart, you just call me. And I said, I will come and get you. One night, middle of the night, right before Christmas, she called me. She said, Mary, I'm ready to come. We ended up getting her back here, and she lived with me for a while, and so at any rate, she ended up coming to work with me at Titan. We made igniters and power charges for the oil wells. Went to work together that morning, and I'm sitting at a table making my little igniters, and she was mixing up ingredients to put in the grinding machine that ground the ingredients together to make power charges. That's the last thing I remember. I came to, we were just talking, and then it's like a dream. You wake up and there's smoke everywhere, and my arm was on fire, and I was trying to put the fire off my arm, and you don't know what's going on, and you hear people yelling. That's like the last thing I remember consciously. I was in a coma for 2 weeks, and I woke up in the hospital, and I felt something on my head, and I lifted my arm because I felt like there was something on my head, and I lifted my arm, and my arms are all wrapped up, and it was just, you just don't know. You just don't know. Your mind can't catch up with what you're seeing is what it is. Your mind can't move that fast. But this time I woke up then, that's when God was there. God was there. The next time I woke up was not near as pleasant because there was someone trying to peel my skin off my leg, and there was somebody up here that had a hose on me, and I was screaming. That's how I woke up, someone's hosing me, someone's pulling skin off my leg, and then they must have gave me another shot or something because I went back to sleep. And then I woke up in a bed in a little room. I wasn't in the big ICU room. I was in a little room, not hooked to nothing. And I was just laying there. I just didn't know. I just didn't know what was going on. And finally somebody came in, and they went and got my husband, and he told me that there was an explosion. I didn't even ask about my friend that day. It was like I didn't want to put anybody in a position to have to tell me that she was dead, but I knew she was dead. In my heart, I knew it. But so I didn't ask about her. But I just let people talk to me because I didn't know what to think or what to do. And so from there, it was like in my mind, I knew God was there. And when I woke up that third time in that bed, there was no fear, there was no sadness. I mean, even though I knew in my heart my friend was dead, I wasn't sad about that. Because all I could think was, I would rather her be in heaven with God. And I just felt that, and it was genuine, and it was God. And so a couple days later, I did finally say to Mike, where is Karen? Hoping she was down the hall in another room, but knowing in my heart she wasn't. And the psychologist said, I'm sorry to tell you, but your friend passed away. And I said, I kind of knew that already. Well, they sent me home like three or 4 weeks early. And I was glad to be able to go home until the trip home. And then I didn't want to go home because I knew Karen wasn't there, and I knew people were going to be there, and I didn't want to see people, and that kind of stuff. But It was okay. I mean, all my friends from church were there. They had cleaned up the house and got everything ready, and, and I appreciated that. It was just hard to see people with me in my condition. I didn't want them seeing me in my condition, which they wanted to be there for me. And they came every day, and there was someone there while Mike went back to work every day. I just knew during the recovery period, I knew God was in it. I knew there was a purpose, that God had allowed me to walk into this journey. It was a 2-year journey for recovery. And I knew in my heart that God was allowing me to do this, and there was a reason for it. There was something I needed to learn. There was something He was going to show me. I remember standing in front of my picture window in my house, and I would talk to God. Nobody else would be there at this time. And I would talk to God, and I would say, God, I know that I need to walk this journey. I need to walk through it. I need to learn what you need me to learn, and then I'll walk out of it. But God, you do realize that I am standing in front of this window in time, and you are up there in timelessness. Could we maybe hurry this along a little bit here? He was with me every step of the way. Time did go on. God did heal me. The nurse that came into my house every day trying to dress my wounds and bandage me up. Every finger had to be wrapped. My head, I had a thing I had to wear over my head, on my face. My arms had to be wrapped. My legs had to be wrapped. The pain was excruciating. The time frame was excruciating. She was exactly the person who needed to be there. That was God. He sent her. And she didn't need to just be there for me, but God needed her to be there for her. She started coming to church. She gave her life to God. I started seeing how God was working in other people's lives through my journey, that I could in no way, shape, or form have ever been the person that would have touched them that way or ministered to them the way that they needed to be ministered to. So it had to be God. Life went on after that, and I got better, and I ended up wearing the garments for 24 months straight. That's what the doctor told me to do. That's what I did. I wore them garments for 24 months straight. I realized that God left me on this earth. He didn't want me to die that day. God has a time for us to die. He knows how many days we're going to live on this earth, and that wasn't my day. And I do honestly believe that He has left me here. What I would like people to walk away with my story right now, that God knows you. God has known you since the day you were born, and He has been with you because He has a plan for your life. So it doesn't matter who you are, what you've done. It doesn't matter if you know Him, because He knows you, and He is guiding you to a place He wants you to be. My name is Mary Jenkins, and that's my story unfolded.